Hi, I'm Malhotra.
I'm Rohan now.
Welcome to The Long Take. This week we're discussing the new Netflix movie, Mission Majnu, where Sidharth Malhotra plays a spy. I'm doing like heavy air quotes around that word. It's around the mid to late 1970s, like post sort of the Indo-Pak war or whatever, where like sort of nuclear stuff is like blowing up in terms of like not bombs but like making bombs. Yeah, like this is Bakwas movie, and we should end the podcast here, Rohan.
Yeah. I'm just surprised at how many stupid people they could squeeze into one movie. Like everyone requires a certain level of stupidity to be involved. And I'm talking about behind the scenes. I'm talking about in the movie. Like the characters are exceptionally, like I can't believe how stupid everybody in this movie is.
And like they're supposed to be like, our top of the line like spies because they're operating behind enemy lines.
Forget that. Like at various times, Sidharth Malhotra's character is described as a genius.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, right? Like if you can't show him doing genius stuff, then other characters have to say it for him, right? That's how it works in Indian movies.
I'm like, no, he's not a genius. His plan was to yell Bharat Mata ki Jai in the middle of the airport.
And it's such like a nationalistic addition, right? It's almost like this is what like our country is today. Like this is what our bucks would do, like to say they're like Bharat Mata ki Jai, as if that like does anything.
Yeah, but in this movie you say Bharat Mata ki Jai, which is pointless. You get shot or something. Especially if they're looking for you and you're a spy and people like you have been shot across the country, right? Shoot on sight orders. He isn't shot, right? But in real life, that would get you arrested,
I think
shot,
he's in
tortured.
shot on that train sequence also. He should have died there.
He should have died.
Like 13 people chasing after him. He's like has like one pistol. He's like shooting everyone accurately. 13 soldiers like missing like 1,000 bullets around him.
वो सब stormtroopers हैं उस scene में. The only time when they can't see him, they're shooting, right? But the only time they have a clear shot, they stop.
They start running towards him. I'm like, why are you getting closer? You have a machine gun, just use it.
So it's so stupid, right, this movie? Because, and it's like a metaphor for the movie as well, that train sequence where they don't shoot, right? So now you have written the scene or designed the action in such a way where Sidharth Malhotra is running and those soldiers are chasing him and Sidharth Malhotra is hanging on the side of the train and the soldiers finally have a clear shot, right? Now you've written yourself there in that scene. What do you do? How do you not let him die? Because the movie has to continue. They just don't shoot. That's the smartest thing they can come up with, the writers. Like, nahi, bas wo shoot nahi karenge na, bach jayega wo.
Yeah.
That's the level of intellect, and that's what runs through this entire movie. When you write yourself into a corner where like you have to use your brain to get out, they're like, क्या होएगा? कुछ नहीं होएगा ना, बाकी लोग और बेवकूफ हैं. They just have to behave stupidly. What else?
That's the thing. Like, it wants to be like, like a Bond level thriller, but like the hero is never in any danger. Like hero is never like compromised or has to like literally like, escape through something. No, he's just like, he can just like run towards the enemy and be like, I'm good.
In every way, right? So he's proficient in action and he is apparently a genius.
Only because other people are incompetent.
Yeah, in everything, right? He survives because he's surrounded by people stupider than him, right?
And literal plot armor, like definition of plot armor.
और उसका motivation मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा because it's randomly like, oh yeah, his father was a traitor.
That's like the thing, yeah. Like it just keeps thrown in, bar, like his handler keeps like shouting at him over the phone. I would request like a new handler. I'm like, बहुत हो गया, इसका नहीं सुनना है मुझे.
Yeah, he's messing my mind up, this guy, for no reason. Please get him out.
I'm stuck behind enemy lines. I'm supposed to like do my job, and this guy is like annoying the hell out of me every day on calls.
This is like Bard of Blood all over again, and like the number of times that we made fun of Bard of Blood, this is what we deserve. कि ये एक और Bard of Blood.
Basically, Bard of Blood season 2 came from like an unexpected source.
This is that level of stupidity, and very similar like team up also happens, right? In this movie where like Sharib Hashmi is whatever the
I don't know. I think he's in a different movie. That character, like his get up, his looks, the way he talks, everything, like he just feels like he does not belong in this film.
And speaking of not belonging, like there's not a single one like Sidharth Malhotra, Sharib Hashmi, all these people. They were like spotted by a child. Like who are you and why you don't belong here? Why are you talking in that weird way? Why are you? What is this? And the irony is that these people are supposed to be undercover. Like if they were normal, like Indians playing Pakistanis, it's like whatever, who cares, right? But these people are supposed to be undercover. You're supposed
Yeah,
to
they're
get
supposed to have
those.
gone like under like years or maybe decades of training before like they
One
were
of them is
embedded.
a Maulvi. Imagine how much he has.
Yeah.
Right. But like at no point do you get a sense that these people are playing like lived in real characters that they've
They don't
created.
seem like professionals, right? Like they seem like amateurs, despite like the movie telling us that they're professionals.
It's stupid.
Which
I
like
think
just like kills the entire like feel of it, because you're supposed to believe that this is like a very tense situation where like these guys are like doing like, you know, end of the world saving stuff. When you're like, no, ये तो बच्चे घूम रहे हैं, like playing dress up.
All those scenes in which Sidharth Malhotra like tries to extract information, right? He's talking to some higher up, you know, doing some tailoring and stuff like that. He's like, अच्छा मुझे बताओ ये कैसे होता है, you know, and then he's going to like the barber, and over there he like creates all that nonsense. I'm like, what? Is this movie meant for like 3-year-olds?
Seriously, like I mean, everything, all the spy stuff he does is an insult to spies. Like he just like talks to people and then people just start blabbing. It's like, हाँ मेरा बेटा है तो सब कुछ बता दो इसको.
एक तो stupidity मेरे को वो explain that to me, the train sequence when he jumps off, right? He blows into a plastic bag, right? And then when he's like underwater, he inhales from the plastic bag.
Yeah.
Right. But like what? Like didn't he blow into it? Like he can't inhale that air.
That is carbon dioxide. If he blew into it, that's not oxygen.
But what is even happening?
Also, on impact from dropping off that bridge, that plastic bag will implode. That will implode. Like you have air. Imagine it's pressure hits the water. Put. Bag is gone.
Yeah, you're lucky that you didn't go put.
Yeah. I don't know. Like forget like asking them to know physics. These guys don't even know like chemistry.
No, and they without batting an eyelid, they're like, हाँ बाकी लोग भी तो बेवकूफ हैं.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Like that's what they think they're of their audience as well. Like they're like, yeah, they'll buy it.
No, but my thing is like, do they clock this stupidity and then make that decision? Can any people are stupid, they don't really care? Or do they themselves not know that they are doing stupid shit?
I think it's a mix, right? Depending on the context. Maybe no one called out, or maybe someone instead called out, and then they were like, "Isko bahar nikalo." ये बकवास कर रहा है. Nobody cares about this reality. Nonsense.
I also got a sense that this is designed to kind of be like a whatever spiritual follow-up, something to Sher Shah, which we did now a couple of years ago. Like the romantic subplot feels equally pointless.
Yeah.
In this
if
movie.
anything, I would say no. I think Sher Shah was worse actually, because Sher Shah gave it a lot more time. At least this one now like ignores Rashmika. Honestly, she's like out of the movie in most places. She barely shows up. Sher Shah mein to like Karadwani was like given a lot of screen time and it was like so bakwas. I was like, please stop giving us these romantic scenes. Please just keep him in Kashmir forever. Every time he comes back, I get bored.
Yeah, that movie worked. The war sequences worked in that movie. The other stuff was painful. In this one, everything is painful, and the romantic stuff, you're like, why is it? Why is she blind? I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter. Like entirely.
I guess it helps his spy stuff, right? Like he can do spy stuff in the open in the house.
There's no drama, right? She's never like sniffs him out or anything.
Nothing.
Or,
she's the most docile and naive character imaginable.
Because it's what, like at least a couple of years they've known each other. I don't know. It seems like. And she's pregnant for like 3 years. This is the longest pregnancy in the world.
I know, right? I was like, 1 second, ये बच्चा कभी पैदा होगा कि नहीं होगा? कितना spice up हो चुका है? Like emergency happened.
सरकारें गिर गई.
शादी happened. उसके बाद the takeover happened, like the military coup happened, and उसके बाद stuff is happening. I'm like, she's still pregnant. She's only reached 3 months. Like this spice thing is like moving at a very rapid pace. Like man, like imagine how long it must have taken to like build that Kahuta ka pura like base, the nuclear thing. And I feel like the pregnancy was like at least half of that length, which makes no sense.
And it's still like, it seems like she's just first trimester or something, you know. Like,
no, by the end, like she's supposed to be, I think, like literally on the edge of, I was like, maybe like plane mein paida ho jayega. But the thing is, it's just like, there's no like timeline given to us, right? It's just like, things are shown randomly. Ki, haan, like Indra thi, now Indra nahi hai, office mein, now Moraji hai, then now military coup happened. Like you can't really track of like, where things happen and where things begin or where things end. So by
Speaking
giving
of,
themselves the room, they can basically sort of say that this was only 9 months here.
like speaking of Morarji Desai, what an idiot he is in this movie.
So I read about this. I mean, the thing is, you can't like actually dig up a lot of this because like most of it probably just came from like who are actual spies, right? It's never been written down somewhere.
So you read like Morarji Desai's Wikipedia today?
Yeah, and it says that at some point he hinted to Zia-ul Haq that they knew, but like it was never hinted that he like literally admitted that he told that we know like through our agents or something, which like this movie implies.
No, but the more important question is, before reading Morarji Desai's Wikipedia today, did you know that he drinks his own pee?
I mean, not before, but like after reading, yeah.
Okay, so while watching the movie, when Zia-ul Haq
I'm like,
is
where's that
very-
stuff?
yeah,
I was reading the article while watching the movie, so I was like, wait, ये भी आएगा क्या अभी?
Yeah. So when Zia-ul Haq is like, मेरे घुटनों में दर्द हो रहा है, and
he's like, do yoga. I'm like, what movie is this now?
Yeah. I was like, Chris, tell him to drink pee. Just tell him to drink pee.
I mean,
but Morarji Desai is he basically Sidharth Malhotra finds out, he does the hair thing, all that's nonsense, Samjhauta Express, and I'm like, okay, fine, the movie is over. Yeah. And then I look down, it's like 30 minutes
left. Exactly. I was like, wait, what? Ab kya hone wala hai? Wait, ending. The third act hasn't begun. Like that's the end of second act.
Yeah. And then I was like, are they going to focus on like the romantic thing now finally and wrap that up? Because they've kind of put that on the side. No, Morarji Desai goes and tells Zia, like apparently without telling his intelligence people, like Parmeet Sethi or anyone, he just off it by himself goes and says, ha, we know. And that kind of implodes.
Burning all your agents at once.
Yeah, what the hell? What the hell was even... What was that?
I don't know. Like this thing, right? Because there's so little like stuff put into like the public domain. It's impossible to like say that this actually happened, or this writers is just dumb enough to come up with this because they're dunking on their side.
I mean, these are the writers of Freddy and like
Bajrangi Bhaijaan. So no wonder they want like a cross-border friendship thing going on somewhere.
Acha, no, but this is an important question. Discussion to be had, like for the longest time, not the longest time, for the last year or so, people are like, Bollywood is trash, right? And everyone's just been blaming bada actor, the business, how that's changed, this, that, whatever. But nobody has spoken about the writers, and I've discovered that yehi 4-5 writers hai, right? And all of them are just being passed around like parcels. Ab tum ye bhi likh do, ab tum wo bhi likh do. There is no uniformity. It's not like one guy specializes in thrillers.
It's not like genre writers in India.
No, it's the same 5 people doing the same.
Like isko dialogue likhna aata hai, isko le lo, isko writing aata hai. Not that they know actually to do it, because the dialogue is so bad in this movie.
Kuch nahi aata. So what they need to, they figure this out. Now the same like cabal of people that they keep turning to write these movies, they are the source of.
And the bigger issue is obviously that the way like how you become a director in India, right? Which we've spoken about this before on the podcast. That you don't come through like film festival circuit, making indie movies or making short films. You become ADs, and then which is basically like a totally different job. You're like just like managing the set, making sure everything runs on time, and then you become a movie director. And it's like, how does that compute?
Yeah, you just shadowed someone who themselves is probably not very good.
Has no idea what they're doing.
You've shadowed Sajid Khan for 3 years and now you're a director. Like, kya ho raha hai?
Oh God. Yeah. So that's the thing, right? It's because that's why movies become mad, right? Because it's only when behind the scenes is a crisis, when your foundation, which is the script, is a nonsense, and then you have a director who hasn't really done anything.
And then you have actors
who given first feature.
Actors who don't know what to do. They've just been left stranded. Ye kar do.
Exactly, because the same actors, if you get a better director, they can probably get like better like performances out of them. But like a guy who's done nothing in his life is going to turn up with his first debut feature. He's like obviously not going to pull like a miracle.
I don't understand the casting in this movie. You have your female lead who you don't trust enough to even speak her own lines. What is
she's a lamppost, right? Because if she's by making her blind, she can't really like look at characters. She's supposed to stare in the distance forever. Okay, so you've taken that away from her. as you said, like she doesn't have lines, and you don't trust her because you're making her dub them from someone else. And then, so basically, all she's left now is wearing different costumes throughout the movie and like very pretty makeup.
Yeah.
That's a lamppost.
And what's his name? Kumud Mishra, who's otherwise good in things, right? Here he gets like a really weird, like comedic scene in the middle where he pretends to be like a army officer,
general or whatever, major.
and I don't know what he was doing in that scene. It's supposed to be funny or something. When he's yelling, like what is even happening in that scene?
It's supposed to be a comic relief scene in the middle of like, I don't know.
But you already have a comic relief character. He's standing silently in the car.
Yeah. He's supposed to be like, quiet and sitting.
And you've turned the most like inconspicuous member of your trio, right? The person who was a Maulvi, like so deeply embedded, so daadi ugai hai, he doesn't speak much. You've turned him into a comic. What even is happening suddenly for one scene? एक तो सिद्धार्थ मल्होत्रा walking around 2 seconds में you will be like, who is this, right?
Yeah, भाई ये 6 फुट 4 इंच का बंदा जो है, ये कौन है? ये काहुटा में क्या कर रहा है?
Why is he asking so many questions?
Why is he asking questions around in this area, which is like entire city literally built to serve like the army camp, right? Like, otherwise there's no point of those people living there.
Best scene though is when he's trying to, like the whole train sequence के शुरू में, when he's trying to get into the train first and then...
Oh my god, that is such like a... That scene belongs in like Lal Singh Chadda or something.
Lal Singh Chadda is not a spy, you know. He doesn't need to lay low. This dude, suddenly everyone in the train station is like, उस प्लेटफॉर्म पे क्या हो रहा है? एक बंदा बहुत शोर मचा रहा है.
इसको तब भी हम जाने देंगे ट्रेन में. Not like we'll detain and question him and put him on the next train. इसी ट्रेन में जाने देंगे.
Who cares that his passport does not, match his face?
Yeah, तो passport कैसे match होगा? मतलब look at the other guy. He beat up in the washroom. Like the random guy beats up and the shakal matches. I'm like, what?
Forget that he's supposed to be a Sikh but does not have a dadi,
Yeah.
All those. And then the moment
like the disguise level stuff is just
it's stupid. So stupid. It's like comic book, like Mad magazine level. Like I just wore a turban, but my face is the same. Yeah,
it's almost like, I mean, he's a spy only if this movie is called Austin Powers.
He's one of those trench coat situations. Like I just wore it.
अंदर 3
rabbit खड़े हुए हैं. Sidharth Malhotra. Even after he's inside the train, he's just making so much sure. Like, I lost my wedding ring. I'm like, bro, just calm. And he gets caught, right? Like, serves you. Say, what do you expect?
Yeah. One call it takes. I'm surprised that call didn't come. Someone didn't find him in the washroom while he was shouting on the platform.
And the other scene in which he's like climbing a hill to look at the nuclear facility and taking pictures.
Oh my god, that is the dumbest moment of the entire movie, I think. I think they would actually get shot, and if not get shot, they would be apprehended at least for a few hours. Because you literally, imagine, you have been caught snooping around in the vicinity of Pakistan's top secret, as we are told repeatedly.
Yeah.
There is no way you walk away from this. You'll be detained for at least half a day. No matter if you're Pakistani, you'll be detained.
So there is a YouTuber, right, whose videos I watch, right? And this dude, he's fascinated by Soviet era Russia. Now Soviet era Russia mein abhi there are so many facilities, as we know, like they were just nuclear townships,
decommissioned, yeah,
and the relics still exist, right?
Yeah,
even though like the USSR has fallen, everything, it's been years and years and years, so they still exist in like some ruined form,
decaying.
So this person has walked across some really like gaon area in Russia and found himself in a facility that used to, I don't know, for like a space shuttle or something that they were constructing, and the space shuttle is still in there but like completely rusted and everything. It's a huge warehouse type of situation where nobody's there. It's just everything is falling apart, right? He's found himself there and he's explored it and taken pictures and made a video and everything, and within 20 minutes authorities have come. He's been detained, he's been taken for questioning, and he's in Russian prison or something, or some sort of this thing, for at least half a day, like 12 ghante. And this is harmless, like 20 years, nobody has touched this location.
Yeah, like a disused facility. Like now there's no like secrets there.
Yeah. And this movie wants us to believe
this
that...
is an active development where they're developing nuclear weapons. Pakistan was like, I don't know, like the 5th or 6th country in the world. Like you're doing like top tier stuff. Like there is no way you like can just like walk around innocently and claim an innocence.
If this was a cartoon, they would be arrested. If it's an actual cartoon, they would be arrested. Like it makes no sense. That's the level.
And then they're like, only look how goat Kalu uske liye I'm like, seriously, who's buying this ruse?
The soldier dude. The one soldier dude that they came across.
Yeah, it's only because the writers were like, ye stupid hai, isko likho as stupid. That's what I think. But then in a way, like we sort of, keep blaming the writers, but like in a way that can also speak to like the message this movie is sending across, right? Like there's that Pakistanis are stupid. Like that's probably like that's intentional. Maybe that's not like accidental as we keep saying.
It's possible. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
because like, there is definitely like there are attempts to like make Pakistan like look stupid or like look like the evil nation, right? Even though India is doing the same thing, like we develop nuclear weapons against like everyone.
According to Indira Gandhi.
Yeah, sure. But like we got sanctions on us, whatever nonsense. Like so, the same thing we are doing, Pakistan is doing, except their methods are probably even worse because they're conspiring with like nations you're not supposed to like conspire with. But like the moral stand of the movie is like we are in the correct, they are in the wrong. But
I agree.
Where do you come from that? Just because you're Indian, making this movie, that's why?
No, I agree that the movie thinks that there's a superiority thing happening. I do think that Pakistanis in general have been portrayed as like evil, menacing. But I don't think that the movie thinks that they're stupid, and that's why Sidharth Malhotra was able to. The movie thinks that he's smart, yes, but it doesn't combine those two things. At least that's what I like. There's no like ha 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 humne chakma de diya type scene, right? Everything is accomplished because this dude's smart, right? Not because the others are stupid. So I don't know, but yeah, there is a very strong sense of those people are like evil and they need to be.
Yeah. Like there's literally, I mean, Indira Gandhi appears for like probably 2 minutes in the movie, and one of her lines is like, Pakistan is a cut-out desh. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Stop.
And a big, at the center of it, there is like a cross-border love story, which we've seen happen many times in many movies. But you don't register it because of A, the performance, and A, like how it lacks cultural specificity. So she could just be anybody. She could be his,
and she feels sidelined with the movie. Like she's not there enough.
She's not Pakistani enough. She's not rooted enough in her own culture to communicate that difference, and to whatever political statement that they're trying to make, कि हम दोनों दोस्त हैं, or we could be दोस्त, Even like the Tiger Zinda Hai movies did it better. Like that's how bad this is.
And that's like saying something.
That is saying something. One of those movies directed by Kabir Khan, so it's saying something.
But yeah, at least like in that sense, like he might not be a great director, but Kabir Khan's like politics are a lot better than most directors in India.
I mean, great director to dur ki baat hai. He should just. My theory is Kabir Khan should just stick to podcasts. Just stop making movies altogether. He should just do podcasts. Every time he picks up a camera, he produces some real garbage.
Yeah. Especially like recently, like he's been a very downward trend.
But what else? Yeah, this is like similar to Razi also. Razi was a much better movie.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, like,
I don't really have
I mean, poles apart in terms of quality. That one actually had like moral questions it asked. Okay, how do you feel about doing these things for your country? A country that probably doesn't think about you even. But this movie also wants us to believe that we are in so much, like we are indebted to our soldiers. No, you don't care about them. You left him for dead, basically.
Yeah.
But no one's going to stop and ask those questions, right?
Yeah, I wish like you can tell from the framing of the movie that they've sort of got the emotional core wrong, right? Like, why would you make the raw Kasa superior the narrator? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, if you really wanted to like dig into like make it like a backward looking movie where like say because the only character who escapes is Rashmika, right? Like Nasreen. So why is she not the narrator of the story? Because I'm sure she got all the details from like Cow at the end. Like at least that way she can reframe the story from like. Or she's like telling that story to her kid, right? Or their kid. And in a way, you can tie up the romantic stuff around it and make it a cross-border stuff much better as well.
Yeah, I mean, that would have made sense. I just figured that he's telling her the story and we are also listening. Like the story of him.
Yeah, but the thing is, during the movie, we can't feel that, right? But I think if you imagine if every scene is narrated by Rashmika, then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, like you can feel at least the emotional underpinnings are better than, because he just feels like a sideline guy. He's literally sideline actually. 40 minutes into the movie, he's like, yeah, tera job gaya. So for him to keep narrating stuff and like chime in, I'm just like, who are you? Why are you talking to us?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe how would she have appeared in the movie if she's narrating it, but then also being completely clueless about him for like 2 hours?
No, that's fine because like she's talking about her past, right? So in that moment, she is obviously clueless. But in the interchaining lines, the lines that are given to Parmeet Sethi, if those lines are given to Rashmika, she can then talk to like they're talking to whatever their son or daughter, as if like she's sort of reframing the story and like laying her perspective on it now that she has the knowledge of what happened back then.
You know, normally I wouldn't even go so far as being like, oh, you could have done this, you could have done that, change this way or whatever, because that's not really our job. But in this movie, I feel we could easily in 30 minutes write a better one.
And we are not screenwriters.
We are not like 3 screenwriters who've done like
like actual stuff in Bollywood.
This is like real bottom of the barrel nonsense.
And like Netflix has like paid like crores for this or something.
It's stupid. I'm sure. I thought they'd changed their ways, to be honest, but clearly not.
Yeah, like that's what like there was like a regime change that happened. Like what happened to that regime change?
Because sensibility is the same, and people have changed.
Exactly. Yeah. Finally, this like like they're like this kind of stuff we need in January month and on Republic Day to become bigger in India.
Like good luck.
That's like the thought process, right? Republic Day, we need a patriotic movie. Which one is lying around, not going to theaters? Grab that one.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm out of things to say about this nonsense.
Same.
Chalo.
Okay. That's all for this episode of The Long Take. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at thelongtakepod. You can write to us at thelongtakepod@gmail.com. Please leave us a rating and a review wherever this episode, and we will see you next week.